Hello and welcome to 60 and Beyond with Skylark. This is the story of how I started my brand. So let's go back to 2006 when I decided to leave the corporate world in New York City. I was working for Harry Fox Agency, a music royalty company. I loved my job, but they were downsizing, and I don't know how many people are still there, but I am no longer there. So at that time, I made the decision to become a freelance artist. I always wanted to pursue voiceover and acting. I was already singing in a jazz band by this time, and I had been doing that for many years. But it was time to really pursue voiceover, which was a big dream of mine. So I jumped right into meetups and mingles and acting fests, and I talked to friends about how you break into this incredible industry that was so intriguing to me. In 2006 into 2007, I got my first radio commercials for Fortunoff, and I was paid very well for them. And here I thought, oh, I'm on my way. Then I started doing some background acting and industrials, which are corporate videos. And there was some very good money in it. So I found my stride, I gained some ground. And then in 2008, as we all know, the market really tanked and a lot of investment houses went out of business. And so what I was being paid for voiceover at that time really took a nosedive. So let's fast forward to 2009, 2010. I decided I had to get a full-time job, but I was not going back to the corporate world. So I got a job as a concierge in some of the hotels around New York City. It was great work, but after about 2 years, it was just destroying my body because we had to stand for many, many hours. So it was at that time that my mother was getting sick and subsequently passed away. And in 2011, I stood in my apartment in Brooklyn with my arms out, and I said, Lord, I need the Trinity. I need a job, I need a partner, and I need a home, because I had decided I was going to move back to my hometown on Long Island to be near my brother, who now was going to be living alone and needed some guidance. And I thought, I'm freelancing, I have the time. I didn't want to live in New York City any longer. So all of a sudden, I got an email requesting an interview for an online radio station out in Patchogue on Long Island. So there was the job. Then I eventually met someone that I knew for many years from high school. There was the partner. And then we got an apartment together in the same complex where my brother lives. And I am still here today. So that was the Trinity. So my story is really one of faith, because I knew if I was going to change the trajectory of my life and really go from New York City back out to Long Island, it was a big, big change. But it was something I was ready for, but I needed this faith under my wings. And Providence stepped in. Providence is guidance from God. It is a absolute mystical thing, but it really does work once you commit to something. And there is a quote from Goethe that once you commit to something, Providence steps in too, and assistance from all around you. And I am sorry, there is a car pulling up right now, but this assistance will help you, and it did. So let's go to 2017. Now I'm turning 60 years old, and I started to feel some real change, mind, body, and soul, and I wanted to talk about it. So I started my brand, Skylark Live, 60 and Beyond with Skylark, which is the name of my vlog. I've been doing it now for about 5 years. It is gaining some ground. I'm on social media, on all the platforms, under Skylark Live, which is the name of my brand, on YouTube, and recently on Patreon. I went back to school in 2019, actually more into 2020 during the lockdown of the COVID pandemic. I went back to school and study professional communications, and I will graduate in the next year or so with a bachelor's degree. I really wanted to hone my skills, and I do a lot of writing now. I have a newsletter, Skylark Live Town News. I'm recently, like I said, on Patreon. I will post the links under this video. And recently, well, I'm launching the Skylark Sessions, which is an informal gathering of women to talk about things 60 and beyond. And it'll sort of reflect on my vlog, on my articles that I write, and we'll get together and do the live thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I recently applied to be a speaker at the International Women's Conference that'll be in Maine in 2024. Now, that is a group of women in AA, but I thought it might be applicable because I speak a lot of motivation and inspiration to age gracefully through knowledge and self-awareness. So knowledge, keeping your mind open to learning all the time, new things. I don't think there can be anything better to assist you in aging well and gracefully, to always be on a learning curve. And the other part of that is self-awareness, to know or try to figure out what your purpose is in life, what you really are here to do. And only you know that. Do you know your purpose? If you don't, there are so many ways that you can figure that out. And it's generally something that you've loved from childhood, or that meant something to you, that resonated with you when you were a very young person. So if you really think back to what meant so much to you as a child, for me, it was to be kind, to be generous of spirit, to be happy, to make other people feel good, to make other people feel happy. And the other part of that is beauty. I have always loved beauty, whether it is flowers or the ocean or the mountains or the sky, a sunrise, a sunset, the face of a child. There's so many beautiful things in this life. And that is what is the foundation of who I am, that I bring into my brand. The beauty, the goodness that is in life. That is my focus. You know, there's so much that goes on around us. We all know that. Whether we think violence is worse than it was, or crime, or our government. So many things that we can look at and say, oh gosh, what a horrible world. But I don't feel that way. I feel that if the universe is infinite, then so is my mind, and so is my soul and my spirit. And life is beautiful. That's how I see it. So I'm doing a lot of things now. I am doing the writing. I'm doing the vlogging. I'm starting the sessions. This is all under my umbrella brand, Skylark Live. The vlogs are 60 and Beyond with Skylark. The articles are 60 and Beyond with Skylark. So, you know, I believe in living your dreams. I don't think it is ever too late to pursue something. You're alive. That is why the live in my brand name is so potent, because Skylark Live. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go out there and create something that is part of us, that we want to inspire, motivate others with. I think the time is now. As they say in Italian, the adesso. So that is how the brand Skylark Live was born. And I do a first Monday of the month vlog. I post it on all my social media platforms. I will post it on Patreon. You can support me on the newsletter or on Patreon. And then at the Skylark Sessions, that is a $5 donation. If you live around the Bayshore area in Suffolk County, let me know. You can email me at christineskylark@aol.com. You can comment under this video. You can send me a private message on Messenger. Anyway, you can text me if you have my phone number. So that's the story of Skylark Live. I wish you peace, love. I will see you next month, and just live those dreams.